going to go into. I did get a couple questions, so obviously we're in 1663. We have about a little over 39 days left until season 2 is over. We're right into season 2, week 2, super early. Obviously, if you're in season 2 or beyond, after every season, if you're unfamiliar, there's a transfer period where once the season's over and all the celebrations are done, you have an opportunity to transfer to another server. You must meet the criteria for it. There is 4 different levels of seats. As you go on, the seats levels change. The initial one is white, blue, purple, and gold, and you get ranked based off of what you have. All your hero power, all your tech, everything else all collectively gets added up and accumulated, and there's a certain score number for each seat. Large or super large players are more than likely going to be gold. Your purple are going to be the next strong set of players. Your blue are going to be semi-strong, and your white are going to be probably your lower free to play players. So I see a lot of questions from people. Why would you switch servers? Why do other people do it? What's the reasoning? And then what is a good server to go to? What is a healthy server? So really, I'm going to try to explain some of that right now in this video. That's the whole purpose and premise of it. So really, the whole idea behind the transfer server and why it all started are a couple different things. So obviously, a lot of people run into these internal issues throughout their servers, and it's not just one. It repeats itself. You may have one player or one alliance that wants to try and dominate the server. And what they do is they control everything, how things go, how you do whatever it may be. And if you don't agree with them, then all they do is they destroy your alliance, they burn you, ash you, so on and so forth, right? The other reason is some people want to be more competitive. They want to play with the best players. They want to play with people who have been successful, have previous history in other servers, knows how to play the game, right? So a lot of different factors go in that. They may have friends in other servers who they weren't able to link up with. They like how they play. They're friends with them. They want to play with their friends. So they intend to leave to do those things as well. Majority of the time, and usually tends to be it might be for one person, one alliance. They don't like what's going on in the server. You may have had a lot of people stop playing and a lot of better players, so you have less participation. That also falls into the next realm that I'm going to talk about, which is going to be server health and how do you pick a good server. The first thing I would suggest, if you're uncertain of where you want to transfer or what your ideas are, if you're going to stay in your server, you're going to transfer, my biggest thing I would say is I would reach out to whoever you think the president is going to be around that time or the top alliances. See how it is, ask them questions, see what insight you can get from them, how many players are taking in, what spots, and how their server ultimately is. Because without doing that, you're just kind of guessing and you're hoping that you go to a great server, which I can assure you, if you're just going to, just pick a random one and go for it, you're not going to really know what you might get. You might get a great server, you might get a bad one. But that's usually what you run into a lot of times. And what makes a great server is really this. It's going to be a lot of active alliances. You don't just want 1 or 2 alliances because, again, as you go on in this game, you'll start to realize, beginning, it doesn't matter as much. Obviously, as you start to get into a season, you're relying more heavily on the people in your server, whether it's for versus or capital, and working collectively to come with one common goal or purpose is to work as one unicide and try to accomplish whatever your goals are. Are some servers going to be less competitive than others? Are they going to have bigger players and they're naturally going to draw the attraction of other players similar to that size or statute, or want to play with bigger players? 100% they're going to. The one thing I would say is if you go to a server that has more participation and has more players that are willing to be active and help the server, not just for their alliance, they're working plans with the other R5 leaders and R4s. They're working collectively to have a plan in place and execute it in order to be successful. The most common other thing I see besides some person would be the frustration of losing it, not being able to win, whether it's Capital War or any other events that come up, just because not just ever come back, So you start to see that, and some players decide to do that, and they realize, you know what, I want to go to a more active server or alliance. So that's majority of the time, and then, like I said, that's going to be a good server. It's going to be where you have someone working collectively all together, all have one common goal, all making sure that the server continues to grow, players keep growing, there's not internal conflicts or wars, and your server and it's causing a lot of issues. That's going to be a good server. Now, like I said, a bad server is going to be where you're constantly going through fights over the minuscule things, whether it's land or capital, or you don't agree with one person because of your views or anything like that, or their leadership style. That's going to run into issues, and ultimately what it's going to do is, if you have larger players who are antagonizing or causing issues with players who are a little bit smaller in stature or similar, and they're constantly causing issues, one of two things are going to happen to the players who are active, who are larger as well. They're either going to, one, if they're spending enough, they're just going to ride it out, and they're going to go to a different server where they're valued, or two, they're going to say F this, and they're going to leave, and they're going to go into a different, probably a different server and just end the game from the get-go, or they're going to transfer their account to someone or something like that, but they're not going to stay there. And that's what you tend to see, is when you start to have those internal issues from the start, a lot of players, especially your free-to-play, they're going to just leave or quit or stop playing overall and never come back. And the reason being is because it's not worth it to them. Why would they want to spend their time, or if they spend any money, or even if they're free-to-play, why would they want to waste their time here if they feel like it's for nothing? So you have to really realize that, and I think everyone plays a key role in when you're playing this game, whatever level you're at, whether you're a free-to-play, you're a mid or small spender, you're a mid-tier to large spender, or you're a super large or a whale. Everyone has their place. Like I always say, one whale can't win it all. One or two players can't win it all. It's collectively a group that all has to work independently, but also work conjunction as a team with your server. Because if you do this by yourself or one alliance, it's never going to happen, right? So just keep that in mind. I wanted to touch on this video, like I said, and cover some of those avenues of why people leave. Obviously, everyone has different preferences and different reasons, but some of the most common ones, to reiterate, is either going to be an alliance or a person who rubbed them the wrong way, they don't agree with the way the server's going. Two would be a lack of participation, players leaving, having a hard time, filling some alliances, or after a certain level of alliances, they all leave. Number three would be just not succeeding, not having a good time. Some players in this game, when they spend, they're doing it strictly to be competitive and win things. That's what they care about. So if they continuously are losing and they're spending money, in their eyes, they feel like it's not what they're there to do for. So you see a lot leave there. Four is usually friends. And then on the flip side, for negatives, it's usually an alliance or a person trying to be a dictator, taking over that server and demanding and telling people what they're going to do, instead of working independently but collectively as a server, and it causes internal issues. Just the burnt out. People can't keep up anymore. They're tired of it, or the last straw is them getting attacked by someone, and they finally had it, and they're quitting the game. And then you just have, like I said, you just don't have the experience there, or you don't have the players who have an understanding of a proper battle mechanics, or that everyone's doing the same plan and no one's altering or changing what occurred to them to try and win. So it all really depends on those avenues. So that's what you tend to see. I just want to jump on here and make this video really fast, because I keep seeing the repeated questions that I get, or things I keep hearing about, is a lot of this. And I don't think people, quite frankly, understand the reasoning, which, like I said, anyone could have any reasoning or decide to transfer for any multitude of reasons. But mostly that's some of the ones, positive or negative, that people go to different servers is that for that reason. And I can understand, like I said, right now this game only has 5 seasons, so if you feel like there's a place that may be better than where you're at, then by all means, if you can squeeze it and you're a free-to-play or a low spender, it's $20 to transfer. It's not an astronomical amount. They're not charging an arm or a leg. So if you decide that you think this may not be for you, or you see the direction your server's going and you don't like it, then talk out to some leaders, talk to them, decide what you think the best route is for you or your members or whatever the case may be, and make some moves. So, all right, guys, obviously before I end this video, just want to say if you have any comments, concerns, questions, you can reach out to me, Twitch, Discord, or in the game. If you like this video, want to help it grow, just reach out to me to donate. And if you're interested about all the comprehensive guides that I do throughout all the seasons, as well as general information and more advanced stuff on the game, you can reach out to me as well. Hopefully all these videos help you guys out, and I hope this has been a good understanding of somewhat of the transfer portal, to see what it's like, to why and reasonings, and how it can be positive or negative in any aspect for anyone. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you on the flip side. Okay, bye.